Hello, my name is Cody, and today we'll be doing a brief look at the semi-deluxe editions of Mark Allen Smith, the Thrown Beyond Akasha series of the Primal Craft Grimoires, and just compare and contrast, what's been added, what's new there, so that you can make your own decision if this is what you want. So the first one here is to the right. I have Queen of Hell. This was the Night Side edition, number 60 out of 500. And this edition, very, very good book. It's about 240 pages long. Well, 244 with all the notes. Solid black end papers. As you can see, it's very, very used there. Some of the gold foil is starting to rub off. There's candle drippings. There's on it. It's been heavily used. Very, very good book. Powerful gateway. I've had powerful experiences with this book. Now, this is basically what these are with the semi-deluxe editions. Is there's new content, and it's basically like everything that you get with the deluxe edition, just without the presentation box. So this is the Enthroned Beyond Akasha, the semi-deluxe version of Queen of Hell, and look at that. You get this beautiful gold foil. These sigils, these sigils, they want to be touched. Like I almost just want to rub, just feel the energy coming off of that. So, exact same book, Queen of Hell, but there's new content. So you get everything. The page 238 there where Queen of Hell ends, and then on 241 there is where the additional content begins, and this has never been released before. This is some essays that have never been released, not even the deluxe presentation box editions. This is the first time it's getting released. 6 months ritual template there. So if you've completely new to this and you have no idea, where to begin, this will month 1, read the entire book carefully. Ritual formula, plan your work, choose the dates. Month 2, invocation to the trident gods. Month 3, Marbus from the Goetia, Marcosius from the Goetia. Month 4, evocation, Lucifuge, Rophikal, Surgot, Euronymous, Suverus. Outdoor work. A little bit template on the higher energy work. A little bit on the higher energy work there. Sexual alchemy. God form assumption, God form possession, black kundalini. They're very advanced energy work that really is the key to unlock the powers of this grimoire, of all the Primal Craft grimoires. Just really, really really cool stuff that'll just so that you're not on your own. So that you're not on your own. That makes it, you have a a bit of a guide to go, so you're not completely like in the dark in this path. Of course, you can ask Mark. You can email him always, but it's really nice to have. It's really nice to have the ritual guide and have this template. So, Queen of Hell. It's about 238, 240 pages. This edition is about, oh, look at that. Is about 304, 305 pages. So the new edition adds about, if you add the additional content, it adds about 60 pages to the book there. And it's not that unreasonable. It was only about like $100 more. Now, I made the mistake of not getting this from Mark when I had the opportunity to. I ended up getting it off of eBay, and I paid a lot more than I should have. I paid close to $300. This copy, let me see if I can find it. This copy came from Australia, and there's only 333 copies of there, 76 out of 333. I paid close to $300 for this book when really I should have paid like close to 200 or just under 200. That's what Mark was having on there. But yeah, get if you see these, another seller that does carry him, he doesn't charge an arm and a leg. Larry from Miskatonic Books. He's a U.S. Seller and distributor, so sometimes they'll have Primal Craft grimoires in stock. If you see them and you want one, grab them now or cry later, because eBay is just such an unfair secondhand book marketplace. I have seen all kinds of occult books going for like thousands and thousands of dollars, when they were only like $100 or $200 from the original publisher. So just a thing to look out for. Very, very cool book. All these, like I said, the book really wants to be touched in this gold foil. Like it just wants you to like just run your hand over this and just pick up the energy coming off of this. Very, very amazing work. And it's exactly as good as a deluxe. It just without the presentation box. And the presentation box cuts off, not including the box, cuts off another like $200 or $300 on there. So you're getting massive savings. It's just as good as a deluxe edition. I would say even better than the deluxe in my opinion, because of the unreleased essays, the unreleased rituals, and unreleased content before. So you're only paying like $1.50 or $2 more per page of additional content. Now, what I really very excited to talk about is probably my favorite entry in all of the Trident trilogy, and probably my favorite grimoire out of all of Mark Smith's catalog is the Red King. And this is where you're really, really getting your value for your money. This is where you're really getting your bang for your buck, and why you should, if you see this on Miskatonic Books, if you see this being sold from Larry, or you see this being sold at a reasonable price somewhere, you should grab it. You absolutely should grab it. And this is the why. First, let's take a look at the regular edition of the Red King. Very beautiful, blue, very soft, amazing sigilization. The book just seething with energy. And there are other paths. There's other draconian authors out there, like Michael Ford and Temple of the Ascending Flame. But the problem with them is they don't really talk about your soul. And what's really different, what makes the Primal current so different, is it is about your soul. It is the soul's journey. There's love and devotion. So like Michael Ford and Asnath Mason, a lot of their stuff is plagiarized and stolen from the Primal Current. So I cannot support and I cannot condone Temple of Ascending Flame or Edgar Kervel or others. There is because all I've read their stuff and I found it seriously wanting. It's all like all the stuff that I've read from others, it feels seriously lacking. It feels wanting. There, it's just like grab as much power as you can now. Grab as much power as you can right now, but no concern for the soul. No concern for the real, deeper implications and consequences for better or worse. But where this is really different, where Mark Smith stands out from all the rest, is it is about your soul. It is almost completely soul work. It is completely soul work that brings you from nothing, brings you from wherever you were, any power level, and takes you to the stars if you apply yourself and apply the teachings and apply the practices and rituals correctly. We're graded by Black End Papers. No bullshit. No armchair theory. No edgy. No anti-cosmic dark fluff. Nope. Just no bullshit. Just straight into gnosis. Straight into witch lore. Straight into the rituals. That's what I love about it. And everything is super easy to use. Like I noticed in Mark, I really like about it is that all like the spoken parts, the parts you're supposed to speak aloud, are they're italicized, while the part that you just read to yourself is in regular type. So I like that the spoken parts are, the spoken parts there. You can tell the difference, which parts are supposed to be spoken, read aloud, and what is the teaching. That is very cool. So you can actually use, so these books are consecrated gateways. Each book he consecrates individually, and you can use the book in your hand as an actual ritual tool in ritual. So you would light your candles. Uh, you would engrave this on a wood there. That's the emerald eye. Um, you'd paint the symbols, on the ground, follow all instructions, of course, and then you would read from the book itself. You would read these parts from the book itself there as you're doing it, as you're doing the ritual. So that's what's really cool about it. Full page illustrations there. There's Surgot and both of his humanoid form. He kind of looks like an elf there, and his animal form. That's really cool. Where most of like Goetia and others, they'll only show like a monster. They'll only show like a monstrous form there. I like here how like Surgot is shown in like both of his elven and animal form right there. That's really cool. And this is all magic. This is all. There's no theory. There's no armchair BS here. There's all these is 328 pages. 328 pages of just pure magic and pure transformation. On the back, we have the Throne of Tamael, or the Eye of the Dragon sigil. I think it's called the Crown. Yeah, the Crown of Tamael. Very, very cool. So the standard edition, just short of 330 pages. Let's see what number mine is. number 350. Oh, there's no cap on it. I think Mark. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. So this would be press number 3. I get confused sometimes. I don't have the third press of Queen of Hell, but Mark did say that he was going to release the first 2 because the current is growing and growing, and just still consecrate them individually, still hand number them, still hand sigilize them, but not have a cap, on them. So that way, in the future, 2025, where we're at right now, or 2030 or 2040, more people who want the work, they'll have access. They'll have access to the current. They'll have access to the tools and gateways necessary. So 330 pages right now. This is the Enthroned Beyond Akasha semi-deluxe edition of the Red King. The Arc of Souls edition. Exact same book as the Red King, but in white. Beautiful, amazing gold foil. Amazing, incredible sigilization on the back and on the spine. Sigilized end papers. The book has a lot of weight to it. The book itself is only about a couple of pounds, but if you add in the astral weight, weight to it, it adds about maybe a couple pounds of energy. So the book really feels like it's about 4 pounds when it's about a 2 pound, 3 pound book. It actually feels more like 4 or 5 pounds. The book has a lot of energy, and it's a consecrated gateway. The book wants to be touched, and of course is your direct connection to Lucifer, to Surgot, to all the mighty gods and beings within this book. 4 gatekeepers, the 4 demon princes over the void. There, if you want to learn more, get yourself a copy and read into this amazing lore. Basically, they're gatekeepers, and they basically hold the universe. They hold the universe up in the 4 directions, keeping the void, the eternal void, the eternal Tau, or the eternal chaos from crushing the universe there. So, and there's work with them. So right away it throws you right into the work. It throws you in work to connect to what Mark says, to connect your soul to eternity, basically. And make sure you follow the directions. There, don't just carve any old thing. Definitely do not blood these right away. Follow the directions. Follow all directions. There's certain things that have to be done in order. There's work and things that have to be done a certain way, that has to be done in order if you want success. Okay. Now where it starts to get different, from the Red King, is just like the last book there, Queen of Hell, that we went over. On 328 you have the regular edition of the Red King. It ends on 328. Then you have the sigilization and the hand numbered. My copy is 203 out of 333 copies. Incredible sigilization. And then you have from page 333 onward, you have a gateway to the Ark of Souls, and this is where all of the essays, unreleased material, and unreleased work is presented. There's work with Lucifuge Rofical. Many of you who have probably heard of him from Grimoire and Verum or the Grand Grimoire and others. Just letting you know, those medieval books are not good representations of the gods. Sorry about that. That was my timer. Is not good representations of the gods there. And the problem with Goetia and the medieval grimoire tradition is a lot of like spirit abuse and sigil torture. You're not going to get the same current. So the Primal Craft Surgot and the Primal Craft Lucifuge Rofical is completely different current than what you're going to get out of the Grand Grimoire and others. So if you're gonna, what it does so far is it basically opens up a mini. It opens up a mini astral grimoire within this grimoire. And if you're gonna take up this work, read everything. Read the entire book. Read everything there. And heed these warnings, because these warnings are serious there. You can get hurt. You can get hurt or worse. And again, this is soul work too. So anything to do with your soul is eternal. The soul is an eternal thing. This is soul altering work. So if you want to take up this work there, it's optional. It's at the end. It's tacked on to the end of the Red King for a reason. Probably because you're meant to work the entirety of the Red King first. And then if you want to take up the additional work, after you mastered the Red King, then you can go even deeper. And there's an essay of Mark's personal experiences opening the abyss. They're crossing the abyss. The adversarial pyramid of the Goetia. So there's an essay of dealing of his work with all 72 Goetia and the 73rd crown. The only thing that I would have liked to see in the book, that I would have liked to see in this edition, is The Right of the Opposer by Andrew Chumley. That's the only thing I would like to see that I wish was here there, because he does talk about it, but he never really gives The Right of the Opposer. So I guess I got to go out and try to find a copy of Q-Tub off eBay or somewhere. Hopefully whoever's got one isn't charging an arm and a leg for it. But there you go, 430 pages. So this edition of the Red King is exactly 100 pages longer than the blue edition of the Red King. When it all comes down to it, I was able to get this from Mark directly, and I paid like about 180 or 195 for it. So I paid just a couple of horses hairs under $200. And this edition I got from Larry on Miskatonic. I paid about like 105 or 110 for it. So when it all boils down to it, you get 100 more pages there for about $100 more. You're basically paying $1 per page more, and I say it's totally worth it. If you can find this on Miskatonic Books, if you can find Larry or some like ethical bookseller for a reasonable price, definitely grab this now or cry later, because like I said, there's only 333 copies, and once they're gone, they're gone. He's not going to do a second reprint of this. He's not going to do another reprint of this, and it's only going to get much more expensive, much more harder to find. So if you really want this work, buy this now or cry later. If you've been thinking about this work, if you've come from another tradition, if you come from spiritual Satanism, or or you were in the Temple of Set or something, then I feel like, and you thought like, I feel like I'm hitting a glass ceiling here. I feel like, there's a lot more to the occult. There's a lot more to my local OTO, my local lodge master will tell me there's more than what Michael Aquino is telling me is going on there. Then you need these books. If you've ever felt that this that spiritual Satanism or witchcraft goes a lot deeper, and if you feel like you're hitting a glass ceiling there, or that you have incomplete gnosis there, do not wait. Okay, get these books now or cry later. Totally worth it. Totally worth it. There, that's so much value. 100 pages longer for only about $100 more. That's insane. That's a really good deal there. You absolutely should not wait. You should get these now.